What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in my garage, obviously, and I have some more modifications for the Ford Focus RS. And today we're installing a harness bar. This harness bar is made by Massive. They make quite a bit of components, especially with like suspension arms or strut tower bars and everything. Good quality stuff, reasonably priced, and I figured we might as well add some more parts to the Ford Focus RS. Now, are we going to use the harness bar right now? No, I do not have any kind of harness to put with it. Honestly, the seats that are in the Ford Focus isn't the European style seats, so it's kind of pointless to really have a harness bar, but this will actually stiffen up the chassis just a little bit. Later on, we might do some aftermarket seats. But for today, this is what I'm going to install. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're in the car and we're going to be taking pretty much this trim off along with the seat belt strap in order to install the hardware that holds the harness bar. And I will tell you that Massive does send out a really good instruction booklet with their product, and I did follow it step by step on the other side of the car and it worked out pretty good. But one thing I did change is I did use Loctite on all my screws and bolts and everything. Now, the first thing they want you to do is they want you to remove the trim, and really you just grab it like this and you just pull and it just peels back. You don't need to be super aggressive with it, and you just kind of do the same thing with the other side. Just kind of give it pulled back a little bit. Now, the seat belt, there is a little tab right here, and I do suggest getting either a really small screwdriver. I have an old skin wedge that I used in my aircraft days, and I basically just kind of push it in there and then pop it out. It doesn't do any damage. You don't want to be shoving a big screwdriver in there because then you'll do damage to the shroud and it won't look good. There is I want to say it's a T25 screw in there that you will have to take out. All right, so I do suggest you have a magnet because a lot of these parts, there's a lot of washers and they will fall. So it just helps you get the piece. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're kind of gonna pull. I suggest you pull from the center, not hard. Yep, and you just pull until you hear a pop. You undo the clips, and there's two clips on the bottom here that separates the pieces, and then the top piece is really all you need to worry about. So now that that's out of the way, you're gonna be taking the buckle off of the bracket, and then you're gonna take the bracket off because Massive includes a whole bracket system that this will all bolt to. So you're gonna need a T50 for the seat belt bolt, and then also there's a bolt on the bracket and a lower bracket. You're gonna need to remove all that. I just used a little bit of 3M, put it on the back. I'm not gonna actually stick it with it. Just like here, just kind of keeps a little bit of a buffer, which will go right there and we'll press into. Now, it doesn't affect anything. It just helps from materials rubbing against each other. All right, so now that that's done, I do recommend following the instructions. I know us car guys are always like, we don't need instructions, we know how to do it, but a once through is always good. That way you can understand what you're doing and not have the issues later on. Another thing is you do reuse your factory screws, so you will have to take off the little holders, and they honestly just come right off. Just get some good wire cutters and just do a little twist. Like that. And you can go ahead and tighten those two bolts down. So this next thing you'll be installing is this L bracket, and this is what kind of holds your seat belt together. But you're not cutting the actual trim piece, you're actually cutting the slider. But in order this all apart, back here, there's some tabs, and really you just kind of push and kind of just peel it out. Like that. So once you have this out, you're going to make two cuts. There's going to be a cut here and a cut there. And like I said, I would follow the instructions because it tells you exactly where to cut. And I'm using a good pair of side cutters that leave a nice cut so I don't have to file anything later on. But if you don't have anything, then I suggest filing it. And basically you just put everything back together. Go behind this panel and then you go to the top, pop it in, screws right there, take these pieces, pop all those in. Then you take your T25 screw, put that in, get your little airbag cover, and that's done. Okay, now that we have this all back together, we can go ahead and put the weather stripping back on. And it's the same as it comes off, it just presses in. Just get everything aligned, give it a good tap. It's the same thing with the outside. All right, weather stripping is back in, and this part of the installation is done. It helps if you have two people. It's just me today, so I'm going to be put this bar in. Hopefully my camera doesn't get in the way. All right, the bar was definitely a little harder to get in than I thought, mainly because you had to compress it. Not fun, but it does put a little preload on the pillars, which could help stiffen the chassis. But everything is aligning, which is good. And it's looking really good as well. All right, the bar is installed, as you can see. So I'm going to snug these down. I'm not going to tighten them all the way because you still have another part of the bar that we need to put on. All right, we have everything installed. Got the X-brace installed. Still need to tighten down those bolts, and then we have the harness bar installed. Now the next question I know a lot of people are probably going to ask is how far back can the seats go? So let's test it out. And as you can see, the seats have plenty of room to lean back for us tall guys. I'm 6 foot and this is perfect position for me to be sitting, and I still have plenty of room to lean back. So as you guys can tell, the harness bar is done, it's installed, and it looks amazing. Everything was really easy and simple to do. Plus, you didn't have to hack up all your trim just to get it installed. Everything fit perfectly back the way it was supposed to. And that's what I like about it, because I don't like when you have to hack up all your factory interior just to install a part. So that's nice. But I am going to end the video right here, and I do appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.